So you got to look at everything holistically. Like I'll tell you my personal story. We have two healthy kids, two healthy boys, and my wife and I had a hard time getting pregnant in that first year. And we found she just had a really big fibroid, very big.
Was
And
that
she
an
was on
ultrasound, or how did y'all figure that out?
transvaginal ultrasound.
Okay.
And my wife, before she met me, she was on birth control pills for over a decade. So I think there was that. She was eating a lot of conventional food in the beginning before she met me, before we tweaked her diet. So I think there was a lot of hormonal growth that was going on for decades that caused some of that growth. And you can't just pull it away and expect it to just reabsorb all of a sudden, right? You can't take 10 years and just expect it to go away. And so we actually tried reducing it. Now, there are things you can do that can work. You can do things like EGCGs, epigallocatechins in the green tea. You can do things like resveratrol and liposomal curcumin. And you could do systemic enzymes like serrapeptidase and lumbrokinase, which help to metabolize some of that tissue and can work. The question is, can it work fast enough? And so we went the surgical road. She got the fibroid removed, and literally within 2 months of it being gone, pregnant, no problems. And so
Wow.
sometimes that can be an issue. So you have to look at, okay, what's the root cause? Do we have some limitations of matter, right? Where this tissue's just been hanging out too long, just the body needs a little bit of a head start getting that tissue removed. And if you got time, do the natural things and just watch and wait, right? Watch and wait. So if you're a female listening and you're not in a relationship or you're not looking to get pregnant anytime soon, but you want to at some point, I just recommend getting good workup with your OB-GYN to make sure there are no endometriosis or fibroids. Endometriosis is hard. Typically, the only way to figure that out is laparoscopically. Little incision, put a scope in. So it's kind of tough to know that one, but usually a lot of the telltale symptoms, like the painful periods, like those kind of things. If you're having those symptoms, work with a good functional medicine doc to help it, but keep an eye out on bigger issues like fibroids and those things so you can act on it early.
Yeah, thanks for sharing the story. And now you got two little boys and they're keeping you busy. So everything worked out.
You got it. Absolutely. So keep that in the back of your mind. Anything else you want to add, Evan, on the supplement side? I know you were kind of riffing on a couple of adaptogens earlier. Anything else you want to add? You mentioned
Well,
tribulus and Tongkat Ali.
yeah, so that could be for the men. I would just say during the you and I've talked about this idea before. We kind of call pregnancy more like a 4 trimester thing, which women like cringe at, like, oh my God, isn't pregnancy long enough? But just meaning that there's a kind of a prenatal phase that happens before you even get pregnant, kind of a fertility supporting area. So we'll bring in multis and omegas, and like you said, maybe systemic enzymes. We'll bring in trace minerals, micronutrients, maybe grass-fed whey protein, maybe some organ supplements. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do right away to kind of prep the body before you even get pregnant. It's not, I disagree with this idea of you got a positive pregnancy test, start the prenatal. It's like, no, you could be 6 weeks in already. Like, you should have been on the prenatal 6 months before you got pregnant, in my opinion.
Yeah, and most prenatals are more of a marketing thing. Like in some of the prenatals that we recommend, what makes it a prenatal? Well, there may just be a little bit more calcium. There may be some extra folate in there. And of course, everything's active folate, no folic acid. Everything's LMTH of folate. Of course, everything's methylated. There may be some extra iron in there, right? So there may be a couple little nutrients that are a little bit extra. But if you look at a really good, high quality multi versus a prenatal, they're going to be about 90-95% the same.
Yeah, that's
if,
true.
if you're getting a high quality, couple little tweaks here and there. Of course, you may want to add in some extra essential fatty acids, cod liver oil. Those kind of things I think are very, very helpful.